Hello, welcome to Cerulean Arts Gallery. Tonight we're speaking with Ruth Formica in conjunction with her Cerulean Arts Collective Exhibition, which is on view now through May the 5th. Hello, Ruth.
Hi, Mike.
Thanks for
For
being
having
here.
me.
Yes, thanks for being here tonight. Let me spotlight Tina's video. So tell us a bit about yourself in the show.
All right. I'm a painter. I've always loved painting, and I'm a colorist. Like color is king in my world. So I've been studying at the Pennsylvania Academy of the Fine Arts. I've been studying color theory at the Cape Cod School of Art. I studied for years with an artist named Pat Witt and wound up being a teacher at her school for a while. That was a great experience. I've been interested in color. I think I don't know if I've told this story before, but when I was about 6 years old, my mother and father went on a little trip and they came back with some gifts from Chinatown, one of which was origami paper. Well, I just fell in love with color at that moment. I spread origami papers all over the entirety of my room, just looking at the gorgeous color. And I've been just wanting that color ever since. So it really has an effect on you. You'll see in my paintings that color is my main thing. I'm in my 70s now, 71, and so I've been painting for that many years. And I still find that I'm changing, and love to try new things and new materials. Like it never gets old because I'm always moving on to something else. In this show, I have a combination of some oil paintings, some gouache paintings, and even some little gouache watercolor ink paintings. I also have a little pack of just ink paintings, which again is something new I've just started. So I brought a few in to see how they go. So now you see that my paintings are very loose and they edge toward abstraction, but I don't think I've crossed that line yet. You know, they're a little bit abstracting, but they're not abstract. Maybe non-representational combined with representational would be a better description. I also like to have some space in my painting. I like to be able to see beyond my main subject. In this painting, I have worked some ink in with the gouache, just in a calligraphic kind of idea. So I really enjoyed that. That was fun.
So Ruth, it seems like the garden and nature and flowers are a main theme.
That's everything to me because I just love them so much that I just want to portray them in my own way, though. I don't want to I don't want to paint them just exactly as they are. And, I might put things in there that you don't even recognize as like garden fairies or little birds, that you have to look for.
Do you cultivate a garden?
I don't right now because I live in a place where they have landscapers.
Uh,
You're not allowed to do your own gardening.
uh-huh.
But previously to this place, I have always had a garden
Mm.
and I've always loved it.
So when you paint, are you painting from the th subject or is it that?
No, I never paint from the subject. I never look at anything
Mm.
because I'll become involved in trying to make something look exactly like it is, rather than trying to paint my painting. And to me, there are two different things. I don't want to be a camera. I want to be a painter. So I'm interested in what the painting needs and what looks great in the painting, no matter what the flower is. I've seen flowers all my life, so I have an idea in my brain has an idea of the color, the way they move. I like to make sure I have like dark, light, and medium tones and white and really dark darks in my paintings. That might not be in a garden as you're looking at it. but the painting wants it, and so I put it there. Also, another thing I love are cats. So I have a cat. I have a ginger cat. She's a very good poser. So I use her poses, but I use the black cat of my daughters as two black cats. So I make the cats black, but I use Twinkie's little pose. It's an excellent little poser. And cats are just so comical to me that all my little cat paintings will always be like cartoons, because cats to me are like cartoons. So I have fun with those. All right, and this little painting. I've also think I've used some ink line around some of the flowers and on the vase. And I've also probably used some gold in there, maybe on part of the vase. But you see how that little white of the flowers just stands out so much? Like, you don't need a lot of white, but if you have little bits of it, it really just livens it up. I love to put little bits of white.
Is it gouache?
It's gouache. I think that one's all gouache and ink. And when I'm talking ink, I'm just talking about an ink pen.
Like what, drawing ink or?
No, just a like a roller ball. I think
Okay.
a precise, a B7 to be exact. It's called.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not waterproof, but neither is anything else I'm putting on there. So I think that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Now here I was inspired by, right now I'm living in northwestern South Carolina, and there's a lot of mountains around, and I go past them all the time. So this is not any particular mountain. I'm just I like the color combination of the blue faraway mountains, and as they get warmer, as they get closer, and then the flat field and the near trees. So I really have a nice near, middle, and far in this picture that I like that.
So you've traveled around a lot, from here to Florida to South Carolina.
Yes, I had the misfortune of moving to Florida for 3 years, and I couldn't wait to get out of there. I'm a person from the north, so I had no idea it was 90 degrees for 9 months of the year.
So how did you feel about the flora and fauna?
Well, that part was fantastic.
Yeah.
I did a lot of Florida paintings, and that puts you in a great mood. Everything grows there. There's like nothing you can't grow there. Everything just grows, including the weeds. Now, this is a really nice painting. I love this painting. It has like a purple and blue background, which goes back, but it's still obvious, and it connects to the flowers in the front, which are very dark reds and pinks. And there's little bits of white that I like to put in there. And I always think of like a child sitting in front of a garden. The flowers will be tall. It'll be dark under the area underneath the flowers. So I think that gives it a good look.
It's more cat.
Yeah, another cat.
That's
Cat on a very fancy pillow.
very, very satisfied.
Yes, that's a sleeping cat. Is having happy dreams. And the top one it's fun to use color you're not expecting, like like in this case, a bright yellow tablecloth. I might also put a bright yellow in the background or bright pink. I think that is just a great thing to do. And here again, I have a lot of drawing with ink around the flowers.
So do you lay these out in pencil first, or do you just start?
No, I just start painting. Quite really, I don't even have an idea what I'm doing when I start. I just start putting color down.
Even
And the picture works itself out.
Even with the cats?
Even with the cats. In fact, the cats will probably be the last thing I do. I'll look at that painting and say, that painting needs a cat. So it gets one. Now, this is a fun painting.
It's oil, yes?
This is oil. And I was thinking about water. And I was thinking about, vines and vines with flowers and things that might be along the water, say, maybe even in the Amazon, the plant life is just crazy and makes its own way across the page. But
So how do you decide if something should be oil or gouache?
well, I don't decide because I have no idea what I'm doing when I start. I just start with something. One day, if I feel like painting with oil, I'll just do that. The last couple of years I've been doing lots of gouache, but recently I've been getting back to oil. It's hard to paint here with oil because I don't have a separate studio. My studio is in my house. And, there's a lot of chemicals involved in oil painting. And so I mostly oil paint during the summer when I can keep the doors open. I do love oil painting, though. And that's a big painting. That's 2 paintings put together, diptych. Nope, that's the sleeping cat. This one, I like those round leaves. One time I was in Trader Joe's and, they have all the flowers and they had big buckets of plants with these big round leaves. I thought they were great.
Hmm.
So I was thinking of them when I was doing
Ah,
that painting. All right, and these flowers are in a clear vase, which I love clear vases, love them. I paint everything else in the whole picture first, and then I put the vase in. This way I have everything already automatically in the background that you see through. And again, there's a little bit of line with the pen. This time I put some fruit in there and a beautiful little bowl, blue bowl, turquoise color. I think that's a white tablecloth. Sometimes it's just fun to make a big black vase, and I use a lot of dark color. And you see how there's a little calligraphy going on with the white and with the flowers. I go around, I think that was not with ink, but with black gouache. I think that's what I have going on there. But, it's just so much flowers that you just are just overwhelmed with the amount of flowers that I can put in a vase
uh-huh.
that I'm painting.
Yeah, it's not what they give you in the store.
So,
So are you working on like more than one at a time? Or
well, I do. If I'm doing a gouache painting, I generally am up at 4 o'clock in the morning and I'll do the first layer of a gouache painting. And then that has to dry a little bit. So I'll put that aside and I'll start another one. And then maybe in the afternoon, I'll go back to the first one or the next day. The little paintings, I do 3 at a time because I'll start with watercolor. That has to dry. Then I'll go to gouache. When that's dry, that has to dry. And then I'll add ink or more gouache. So it's the drying that gets me. And that's the problem with oil painting. It takes so long to dry. And yet acrylic, which I don't use and will never use, dries away too quick.
uh,
Oh, look at that batch of flowers. That just looks, see that? That could be a painting right there, that close up. That could be a garden painting. And then I have a nice pink tablecloth and a clear vase. Yeah, that's a nice little painting.
yes.
Uh, Sometimes you don't look at them for a while and then you look at them and you're like, wow, especially a painting, if you do a painting you don't like and you put it away for a while and then you bring it back out, a few months later and you say, well, what didn't I like about that painting? It
Right.
looks
That's
great.
great. Mhm.
Now, this is a really colorful one, and I had a lot of fun with the vase too. But I have the pink background and all colors of flowers in there. I try to get yellow in there. Yellow's always been a difficult color for me to use in the past because I found it a little bit scary, bright yellow. But lately, it's just fitting in with everything else. So I'm using it more and more.
So are
And
there painters that inspire you?
oh my goodness, past painters. Oh, there's so many.
Yes.
I'm just inspired by everyone.
Uh-huh.
Recent painters. I love Bill Scott's work, Jan Baltzell's work. I think they're both two just fabulous painters. And I'm just drawing a blank here. But oh, this was fun. The tablecloth was the most fun of this. And I really liked it after I got it done. That print, or are they things falling? Are they a print on the fabric? There's just white just carelessly laid on top and of the pink, and you have the green vase next to it all. So that was fun. It was Matisse I was trying to think of, who's probably
Mhm.
just inspired me for years and years. Yeah, and that has a nice dark background. See how that white stands out? I love that.
Yes, it really
I love it when that white comes out. That's fantastic. And you can see the light coming in on the table from what could be a window on the one side. And this was one of my wild gardens. This is outside with a garden so full of plants that you can't even see through. Plants gone wild. So I like all the colors. I love when I put those purple sort of drawing flowers in there. And there's some, black outlining here and there.
So
And I
as you
love that
paint,
one white flower there.
do you scrape it down at any point, or do you just keep adding?
Well, basically, I should scrape down, but I really keep adding.
Mm. So are you working pretty directly then with the?
Yes,
Mhm.
yes. Sometimes I'm adding and sometimes I'm painting something so that I'm subtracting actually. So I'm adding and subtracting at the same time.
Mm.
So I think it was a good show. I think everything went together really well, the different mediums. So I was really happy with that. And some help I got with the framing. I was extremely happy with that.
I think it's a good show. It is a good show. It's a great show.
Oh, thank you.
And the show is up through May the 5th. We hope people come down to check it out. And everything's also available on our website, ceruleanarts.com.
Yes, I hope everyone does come and see them in person, because in person, some of them are really something. And there's a lot of the other shows in the gallery are great too. Totally different than mine, but just as nice.
Yeah, it's a good combo.
Yeah. So thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks so much for being here with me tonight.